Peace, everyone. I'm making a series of stories so that I can create some reels later. I found this is the easiest way to make reels is to make stories and then put them all together yourself. But anyway, this one was prompted by this part. I was talking to a soul family member about crystals and about how crystals just like are exciting. You know, some people say, we don't need that. We don't need, crystals. You don't need tarot. You don't need, any kind of tools. You don't need to read books, and some people don't need that, but some of us do. And some of us just like that, and it gives us a great connection with home. And after everything I've learned from the eclipse, because I really want to talk about the eclipse and show the pictures and videos, but it was so heavy. I was in 24-hour, I guess, meditation from it, and all the things I've learned. We should use every tool we can to connect back. So these are some crystals that I have, crystals and stones that I keep around my house all over for protection purposes, to be uplifted, to be inspired. These are black tourmaline. And these I keep around my electronics because they help to absorb and they help block the EMF radiation and waves and things like that. So these are really great. And I have huge ones. I use those. And then also for those purposes, I use shungite. And these are the shungites that I have. Like I have one on the refrigerator, one on the microwave, by my computers, my laptops. I have a lot of electronics. So I'm a little geeky. And then this is obsidian. I have like super huge pieces of these. And I have them everywhere in the bathroom. You name it. These do the same thing. Protect. Shungite will clean your water. I don't care what is wrong with the water. Shungite will clean it. So I have like bottles with crystals in them just to clean tap water for necessary. So like for example, in this one, I have a piece of shungite and a piece of clear quartz. And this is just tap water that I put in here because I refill all my jugs. I have water everywhere. Like on that movie when the aliens came, that boy had water everywhere. That's me. So anyway, you put tap water in here, and then you put your shungite and your quartz in here, and you'll see bubbles, happen, and then it's clean. And I use this, and I keep it like by my stove so that I can, cook or whatever. But that is what shungite will do. But it also blocks the EMF radiation, abates negativity. This as well. So does the obsidian. And then these I got from the beach. I got a lot of these. This is charcoal. This is coal. And it's funny how much they sell these for at the crystal store. I'm like, what the hell? You can go to the beach, but I go from Mexico and get these for free. And they do the same thing. So I have them in my windows and under my bed and all that. Okay, so more stones. This is part of a geode of a raw amethyst, moonstone, green aventurine. I love raw stones. I really don't like the polished ones, but if that's all they have. This raw labradorite. Oh my gosh, if you can see the blue on this, it will blow your mind. And I have it wrapped with some copper for strength. And then this is selenite. It happens to be orange, but I have a lot of clear. And this is Himalayan sea salt. You can use this to clean some of your crystals that can use water wash. And then the other ones, you can clean them with selenite. And then I always keep like little mojo bags or whatever that I make. And then, have different crystals in them that I keep with me. Like this is malachite. This is a amethyst point, pyrite, clear quartz. This is a small one of these. One of these tourmaline. And then I have blue kyanite, and there's a couple other ones. So anyway, the ones I keep with me, I was saying, and I also keep like a citrine, with me. But then I also wear, like crystals and stuff on me, especially when I leave the house. I don't wear them too much when I'm in the house, but when I leave the house. This one right here is my impact pack. All these are when I go out in public because they help block, they help do a lot of stuff. This one is like my money necklace that has some of that moldavite in there, the powerful stuff. And then I have like this one with my helm of all, and then I use crystals, when I make like magic wands with copper and, feathers and all types of stuff. And then I make, bracelets with copper and different crystals and you name it. I even make my own earrings out of with crystals. I don't wear earrings, I wear gauges. So I even found a way to do that as well. So I stay protected. With the helm of all, this is like Norse mythology. Mythology is real, but anyway, sometimes I can't wear it because it's very powerful, and since it's around my neck and it's in my throat chakra, but it has like a lot of blue in it. But the main thing is this piece right here. This is a piece of calcite, and I dug that up from the crystal mines myself. So I really, really enjoy going to the crystal mines because I dig up my own stuff. Look at this one. Look how big that is. I have this one by the front door, and then I have like a lot of different pieces. Big pieces. You see that vein in there, and you see how this has that same type of vein. This is like the inside of the giant's bodies, the sleeping giant's bodies. That's what these things are, and they are so powerful. And I have them all over the place, and I give them out as gifts. And I have small ones that I make necklaces out of, and I mean it's just amazing to have this type of power. And understand the power of these things, then you realize why they prevent a lot of things, why they buy up the crystal mines, why they buy what's that, because all these things connect you to where you're from, especially melanated beings. It connects you to the source. It connects you to Earth. They call that using sorcery, but when you get your power from, the elements, then that's what it is. When I lived on the beach, I got all these from the ocean. The ocean sang with me. I saw so much phenomenal stuff in the sky. These are angel wings. I have so many of these. It's crazy how many I have. You know how much these go for on Etsy? It is crazy. A little pair like that will go for like $50. I was like, oh my gosh, I should sell these. But I'm like, nah, it's okay. But these are so beautiful. Like, look at that. I have all types of shells. And I still have like my leaves from the fall and stuff. Like, I keep all this around because it's nature, right? I got these feathers from the beach, from the birds. I would always say, I want the real big ones from the pelicans. And they would just drop them in front of me. I have like hundreds and hundreds of these. Hundreds and hundreds. You know, I said I wanted to make myself a Indian headdress, you know. And it's funny, I'm talking about all this power. And it's like, oh, with great power comes great responsibility. But you know what we have to realize? The first responsibility with that power is to yourself, to recognize who you are. So that's why this book and learning your birth chart, learning about your birthday, learning all those things is so important. Because I was like, look at all this stuff that I'm always into. It's crazy how much I'm attracted to it. Is something wrong with me? And it's like, no. My North Node in Pisces says this is what I'm here for. I am not here to embrace the physical at all. This time I have to fully surrender and live totally spiritual. And it was just like, how can I do that? I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I was already tricked by religion, so how can I do that? But now that I've read it, it is perfect. What it says in the book about Pisces North Node people, it says part of what propels Pisces North Node's sense of duty is a feeling of inadequacy. They think all I have to give is me. They compensate by giving and giving and giving, and they never feel that's enough. And they go, you know, they can't say no, and then they wonder why people don't give back, you know, because everybody's node is different. And then finally, you know, they grow tired of that, and they start realizing that, you know, others take them for granted. They take themselves for granted. And what they have to understand is the duty needs to be to self. And then things come into balance, and then they start to look at themselves different. They look at themselves with the same type of love that they look at, you know, with other people. And then they understand that, you know, the behavior that they have been accepting from others and themselves, staying in bad relationships, just constantly being on the wrong end of things. It's like you have to stop that. So this book teaches you, you know, how to be your best self in all. It also talks about how their lesson in this lifetime has less to do with how they relate to other people and more to do with how they relate to themselves. And their only barometer is their own inner state of being, their sense of peace and contentment. They have to trust that their self is spiritual, their intentions are good, and when the inner self says no, it's a correct response to outer circumstances. And when that is not the case, it's like these folks can have a difficult beginning owing to the worries, anxieties, and duties that that consume their lives. But once they make the transition to focusing on the spiritual reality behind the world of tangible appearances, their lives can be the most blissful. It says they are immersed in an atmospheric field of magical spiritual powers. The irony is that they are totally unaware of it. They act as if they have no power at all and try to succeed from an ego level. And if you don't have like a big ego, then you spend a lot of time wandering. So you have to let go of that and realize the infinite seems to take care of them as long as they stay conscious and they can accurately see where to take the next step. It says theirs is the easiest of all incarnations if they will only let go of their attachment to making it difficult. Like when people say let go and let God, they can move in peacefulness and the peacefulness of the infinite itself. I started laughing about that because I was like, that is so right. Because if you don't understand who you are, you don't understand your power, you don't understand why you came here. And it says, to focus on the intangible as the basis of their reality requires a willingness to risk being misunderstood by others. Their job is to bring the experience of spiritual reality to the planet, and they can only do that through awareness of it in their own lives. It is only by being absorbed in the spiritual atmosphere themselves they can communicate this reality to others through their own quiet joy. And that's why we also suffer to learn. The reason this is all important is because of the connections of everything. So I started doing tarot, right? And because of that, I got this one, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot book. And it taught me about the Kabbalah, and then I started like researching the Kabbalah, and from the Kabbalah I learned about astrology, and from astrology I learned about the birth chart. I learned about the North Node and South Node and things like that. The North Node and South Node is so important because the North Node is your current life, what you're supposed to do. Your South Node is your last life. The South Node is Ketu, and the North Node is Rahu. So when the eclipse happened, that was not the moon that went in front of the sun, it was Rahu. Because it's time for the North Node to pass. It's time for that juncture to happen. So if you don't understand what your life is supposed to be, then how can you succeed and how can you grow and advance out of here and ascend? Or for the people that aren't ascending, go back home. That makes sense. All right, two more and I think I'm done. All right, so this one, my favorite deck, Moonology, I love so much. I think it was my first deck. It says that the South Node and the North Node cards. The South Node says don't let your past hold you back because the South Node is who you were in your last lifetime or your last life cycle. You see that little eclipse? Then right here, the North Node, step out of your comfort zone because you're supposed to be doing the opposite of what you did your last life. And the only way for you to know is for you to get your birth chart, for you to find out where that is. And so when this happens in the sky, you see that node, it's invisible. It's not like a planet, but it's a crossing. So when that happens, Rahu just merged with the sun and it made a portal. That's what that total eclipse was about. So if you don't understand what your North Node is and what you're supposed to be doing right now, I think the North Node is in Aries. And so that's going to affect you so much. And you need to know because you can use that power. So it's so vital for you to know this information. So religion will keep you from all these things and tell you it's wrong and it's bad, but it's not, because all this information is for you. It's in the stars, it's in your palms, as above, so below. It is in the Bible, but you got to read all the Bibles, the Quran, the King James Version, the Book of Mormon, the Pseudepigrapha. You got to read the Book of Enoch, all that. There's a code under the Bible. You got to read the Cobran Bible. You'll understand about Planet X. You'll understand about Nibiru. It'll teach you about Revelation, the understanding of that, mythology, like all of it. They keep us, involved with the caste system and what people wore, what then, who, all that stuff is like a distraction. All of that is a distraction. But learn about classical Hindu mythology, the gods of Eden, Necronomicon. You'll understand the fallen angels, why they're into mind control. You'll learn about the Sibyls. You'll learn so much and about the Hermetic code and our DNA and how it can unlock when we learn these things, because it helps us to remember who we are. So peace. So I realized I haven't showed my face the whole time in this because it wasn't really about me. It was about the information. So if you have any questions, you can send me a message and let me know. If you need to know what your about your birth chart, or if you want to know what your North Node is, I can answer like simple stuff quick, and then you can go for it and just do the research. If you want to get a reading, my page Star Anubis Tarot, you can look through that and just get some encouragement, or you can just send me a message on this page if you need a moonology reading or star seed, help with your life. These are special readings that I do for myself with Kali Ma. I don't really share these because it's like so powerful, but it's some amazing stuff. So yeah, family, do what you have to do to get yourself in alignment. Because I see why they're afraid of what the eclipse brought, because the eclipse is going to bring all the answers to the powers that were and what they were doing. So anyway, peace, family, peace.